Harvey's book. Anybody want a folder? Hello, everybody. This is great. And I want to thank Harvey. I want to thank everybody. So many friends in this audience. You know, I'm very familiar with the area. And our country is hot. We're doing a good job. We're doing a good job. Stock market just hit another high for the 59th time in 1 year. And it's been really great. But I want to thank especially Harvey and all of the people, his beautiful wife, Christina, daughter, Eve. And he really put his heart and soul. He's a wonderful man, a great attorney, a very legitimate person. Sit down. Come on, we'll be here. What the heck? It's a beautiful evening in Palm Beach. Sort of semi, isn't it, huh? No, it's great. Hot area. It's a hot area. It's one of the hottest areas anywhere in the country, if you think, right? It's a pleasure to be back with so many friends and neighbors in a place that I love and a place that I call home, Palm Beach. It's been, I've been here for a long time. And I begin by congratulating the Forum Club on 50 incredible years. The Forum Club, wow. Harvey asked me if I do this. I said, no, I have a big speech. You know, I just had a big speech. You probably saw a big. And it's all over television. I said, where am I going now? They said, you're going to Carruthers Center. But you know, honestly, Carruthers Center is terrific. And I mean, I was saying, somebody said, you know, sir, you don't really have to do it. You can call up and probably do it. I said, are you kidding me? Can you imagine? This is a crowd where I know so many killers, very successful people. Some are nice, some are horrendous people, but I like the nice ones and the horrendous ones also. We have some really killers. I'm looking out there. Oh, these people, I've had to deal with them my whole life. They are brutal, but you know, you get friendly with brutal people too. I'm dealing with some quite brutal people right now in the lovely country of Iran. They are very brutal, and I will tell you, we're doing very well. You cannot give Iran a nuclear weapon. It's all I can say. You cannot. Because they would use it on a place called Israel very quickly, and they would use it in the Middle East, and they'd use it in Europe, and I guess we'd be next, and it's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. We've taken apart. We've taken their Air Force is non-existent. It's gone. Their Navy, they had a very strong Navy. They had the strongest Navy by far in the Middle East, many times over. They have 159 ships. Every single ship is at the bottom of the sea right now. They have no anti-aircraft capacity. They have no radar. They have no leaders. Actually, their leaders are all gone, too. It's part of our problem. We don't know who the hell we're dealing with. They call up, this is Mohammed so-and-so, and I say, are you a leader? We're looking for a leader. It's the only country in the world. Nobody wants to be a leader. You know, they say, would anybody like to be president? And there are no takers. But I think we're doing a great job over there, actually. We have they used the Hormuz Strait as a weapon for many, many years. They said they'll close it. So they closed it, then I closed it on them, which is sort of, they want a little business, they get no business. But it's going to work out because everything works out. You know, you look at what we did with Venezuela. That was an amazing military maneuver. And now we have a great relationship with Venezuela. 100 million barrels of oil we've already sold. It goes down to Texas. It goes to be refined in Texas. 100 million. We're going to be another, over the next month, it's going to be another 100 million. And you'll be happy to hear this because you're a lot of great business people here. This is the first war that you've seen in the United States for a long time where we actually have paid for the cost of the war by about 37 times already. In other words, it cost us a lot. We had those big, beautiful aircraft carriers, lots of planes and everything else, but we've paid for it many, many times over. And we're getting along great with the people, the leaders of the country, and we're working with them very closely, and they're relying on us totally, and the relationship is very good, and they're doing more business now than they've done in 15 years probably. And we have the oil companies all moving in. The big American oil companies are all moving in. It's really been amazing. And then I said, well, now we can take a little pause. We ended up doing you all know, you people that probably see the stock market more than almost anybody in the world. There's no group in the world that's more stock market oriented than the people in front of me. Many of you are responsible for some of those successful stocks, but the stock market hit today an all-time high again. It hit one yesterday, hit one the day before, during what they call a military operation. You know, they don't like the word war, and they call it a military operation because that way you don't have a war, you don't have legal problems. But you ever hear a situation where we're knocking the hell out of somebody and we have a Congress, please, you've only got 3 days left. We spent 19 years in Vietnam. We spent 12 years in Iraq. We spent 7 years in another place, 2 years in another one, 7 years in another one. We had another one for 14 years, and we're in there for 6 weeks. What's taking so long? Now, we could leave right now. Right now, if we left right now, it would take them 20 years, 25 years to rebuild the place. But we're not doing it because we have to do it totally right. We don't want to have somebody coming back in 5 years and you have an incompetent president, which we just went through 4 years of a very terrible situation, very incompetent. But this should have been done long before I got to office, so we had to do it. The crazy thing is I had all my financial people, Scott, Howard, all of the different people. And we're celebrating the success because we have the highest stock market. We broke 50,000 on the Dow. Nobody thought it was possible. They said maybe at the end of the fourth year, but probably in 6 years, 5 years, but not during this term. It's too much. We did it at the end of the first year. Then we broke 7,000 on the S&P. We did that at the end of this year, long ahead of schedule. And then I said, we have the most successful, by the way, more oil is being drilled right now than at any time in the history of our country. We're doing double, think of this, we're doing double Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Double Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Nobody knows that. And you see all of those big, gorgeous ships coming up from all over the world because the strait is closed by us, and they're coming to Texas now and Louisiana to load up, big ones. 2 million barrels of oil, the big ones, those are the big ones. And they're all heading up, and you see the line, they call it the conga line. I don't know what that's supposed to represent, but you see those graphs, it's made from Space Force, We were responsible for Space Force. We needed Space Force. We were being killed in space by China, by Russia. In my first term, I created Space Force. First time in 79 years that we did a new division, a new grouping, because you had the Marines, the Army, Navy, the Marines. We had the Coast Guard. We have all of the different branches of government, the Air Force. And they thought the Air Force and the Space Force would stay together, but the Air Force wants the Air Force. They're not going to give, and space is so important now, and we did Space Force, and all of those things, many of those things that you're saying is because of Space Force. And now Space Force we were losing badly in space to Russia and China militarily. Now we're way in the lead, way in the lead. We have the greatest space capacity of any country in the world. So we're very proud of that. We need it. We need it for protection because it's a nasty world out there. We need it for protection. So we're very proud of Space Force, but they, among other things, they give you beautiful satellite pictures of what's happening in the world. And when you look at the Hormuz Strait and you see all of those ships, all of those people and ships that they want to get out or they want to get in, they're all over the place. They're like little ants, right? They look like a little anthill. And hundreds and hundreds of ships. And we have a navy that is unbelievable. We put up, it's a blockade. I said, I got the Olympics, I got the World Cup, and I won't be president. And then all of a sudden I realized I am going to be president during the Olympics and the World Cup. It's amazing. And, it's very interesting, though. I tried taking the third because we also have the 250th year. This is a great term when you think about it. With all the things we've done, And on top of that, and then we did the great big beautiful bill with no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, all sorts of things. It's turning out to be very popular. People are now understanding it. But when I got these, I said, 250 years, okay, I got the Olympics, I got the World Cup. Maybe I can also claim the 250-year thing that I got that too. So I tried. I said, I also got 250 years. And they said, sir, you didn't get 200. We're 250. Okay, well, I gave up. So I gave up on that one. But we're having an unbelievable celebration. And in fact, on June 14th, not so far away, the UFC is going to have, I think it's the most exciting. I've been involved in a lot of events. I've given out a lot of tickets. I've sold a lot of tickets to things. I don't think I've ever had anything. This is going to be wild. We have a 5,000-seat arena being built right opposite the front door of the White House for the 250th. And that's going to be June 14th, which is my birthday, which is absolutely, Flag Day. Flag Day. But and that's a coincidence. It is not, I didn't do that. It just worked out that way. It is actually true, I swear. I did not do it. It worked out that way. But it's June 14th. At least it's easy to remember. And they're building, it's going to be a Sunday night, and it's going to be on CBS. And then they're having, that'll be a 5,000-seat like arena that's going to be sort of a one that they put up. UFC, Dana White, the great Dana White, he's fantastic. And then they're having anywhere from 75 to 100,000 people in the park. Right across from the White House is a beautiful circular park, ellipse. And that's going to be having thousands and thousands of people. And they have 8 massive screens being built, and people are going to be able, there's no charge to anybody. Everything's free. And it's going to be something really fantastic. The biggest problem I have is the 5,000-seater. I have everybody that wants tickets, but it's one of the hottest things. And then we have the IndyCar, as you know, they're doing a race. Roger Penske, and he said, I've come to Washington 142 times over the years trying to get an IndyCar race in Washington around the Capitol. He said, and I've never been able to do it. And then I gave it one last chance. And I saw my friend Donald Trump, president, and in a half an hour, I had the whole deal done. We made a deal. So they're going to be, it's a little bit like the airport, right? And in literally, it's going to be great. In half an hour, he got the deal done. He's so happy. Roger's incredible. He's won 20 Indianapolis 500s. I gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I said, it's amazing. These countries, Germany, Japan, they spend billions of dollars on cars trying to win the Indianapolis 500, and they rarely do it. I don't know if they've ever done it, but they rarely do it. They spend all this money. Roger Penske's won it 20 times. So needless to say, he's quite good in the automotive division. I mean, the guy is amazing. He's won 20 Indianapolis 500s. It's not even believable. So I gave him the award when he won his 18th. I said, Roger, I'm going to give you the Presidential Medal of Freedom. What you've done is amazing. And since then, he's won 2 more. I don't know what it is. It's crazy. But he's a fantastic guy. So we're going to have the Indy, which are the racing cars, the Formula One type car. And that's going to be something that everybody's looking for. We're providing $42 million of improvements in Florida railway safety. You know that. And $210 million to the state for rural health care. And we delivered more than $2 billion in federal funding for the Army Corps of Engineers to dramatically speed up the restoration of the Florida Everglades and Lake Okeechobee, which is now being done, right? We're doing that. A lot of it's been done. I got it done in my first term, but we're adding to it Okeechobee and, all the things that benefit you. And today we delivered a huge win for our great fishermen and anglers in the state. And we have any fishers? I don't think this is a fishing room, I gave this statement a little while ago in the villages, and the place went crazy. I don't think any fishermen here? Well, that's not bad. Well, then you like this. That's better than I thought. But all state permits for the 2026 red snapper recreational season, as you know, was brutal with the federal government. You couldn't do anything. They let you catch a half a fish. If you caught 2 fish, they want to put you in jail, give you the electric chair. If you're lucky, you'll go to jail for the rest of your life instead of the chair. It was brutal. And so for years, our great fishermen have been punished in Florida and some other states. with very short federal fishing seasons, like how about 2 hours? Go fishing. You go fishing for 2 hours, and then you have to pull it in and get the hell out of town, or they'll arrest you. But they gave you record short season, and I'm giving you unlimited seasons and federal seasons despite record fish populations. It's hard not to have a record fish population when nobody's been allowed to fish, essentially. And the states are begging to get these permits, and what we're doing is we're doing it. And the very incompetent Biden administration tried to shut down the oceans to our fishermen. And that, look, the ocean's a big place. It's a big place. But we love and respect our fishermen and all of those people that love that sport and love it. And so I'm very happy to announce that we just spoke with NOAA. That's your big group that does all of the work on regulation. And we're delivering to you all of the permits that you need for long-term fishing and lots of fishing. And enjoy the red snapper or whatever the hell you catch, because you're allowed to catch it now without going to jail for the rest of your life, okay? And with the support of many people in this room, a lot of them, we had the most successful first year of any administration in history, they say. Even the radical left Democrats are saying that. We took the most dangerous, unsafe, violent, and open border in the world, and anywhere in the world, there's no border like this, and created the most secure border in U.S. history with 0 illegal aliens entering our country in the last 11 months. Think of it. We went from 25 million people coming in to 0, and the people that make up that list are the Democrats. Nobody even tries to come in because the border is so tight right now that you just don't even try. It's amazing. And we had an open border that was allowing a terrible situation. We were allowing people in mental institutions, drug dealers, murderers, 11,888 murderers coming into our country. Many of those people murdered more than one person. One murdered 7 people, and they're releasing them into our country. It's terrible. The murder rate in the United States is now the lowest it's been in 125 years. Can you believe that? It's sort of terrible to say in a way, because it's, who wants to talk about murder? But we had a murder epidemic, and it's now the lowest since before my father was born, 125 years, 1900. And that's an amazing thing. And the crime rate in the capital, Washington, D.C., which was a disaster. When I came in, it was one of the more dangerous cities in the country. It's now the lowest, it's considered now one of the safest cities in the country, which it should be. We moved in the National Guard. We took out over 5,000 hardened career criminals. Many of them came in during the open border of Joe Biden, and they made it just a horrible place. It was never that safe, believe it or not. People were getting killed, but they were losing 3 people a week on average, murdered 3 people, 150 people a year. Kids would come in to see the Washington Monument or the Lincoln Memorial, and they'd go home in a casket. They'd call their parents and say, "I'm sorry, your son's been killed." And we moved some very strong people into the area, and in a period of a month, it was much better. 2 months, it was better yet. And now it's considered a very safe city. Restaurants which were closing all over town. They were even dangerous if you got there. They'd rob the interior of the restaurant. They'd go and raise your hands, give you money. It was terrible. And it's a very interesting statistic, Mayor. So 90% of the crime is committed by 2% of the people. And that's really good, because that means you can solve the problem. If it was 25% of the people, that's a tough thing. 2% of the people commit 92% actually of the crime. It's incredible. It's great because you get rid of them and you don't have it. We took out over 5,000 hardened career criminals, numerous murderers, and they're gone. They're back in their countries or they're in jails. We've secured the largest reduction in drug prices in American history. Under my most favored nation agreements, we're delivering your record-setting discounts with price differences of 400, 500, and even 600% lower. And what that is most favored nation. We were the highest priced drug nation anywhere, prescription drugs, anywhere in the world, by far the highest. A drug that would sell for like the fat drug, my friend became a very famous, he's begging me not to announce his name, but I use him as an example. He's very smart, very fat.
What is the biggest difference between being a leader of a company versus being a leader of a country, if any?
I can get myself into big trouble. Well, a lot of people ask it in a little different form. They say, who's tougher, politicians or businessmen? Because I dealt with both at the highest level. And I always said, oh, businessmen are much tougher. They're not even close. But then I spent a little time in Washington. And now I say it's not even close. These politicians are ruthless, vicious. They are liars, unlike our people from our great town council. But these are vicious people. I mean, what I see, Shifty Schiff, all these crazy people that we have to deal with, think of it, Comey, how's he doing? No, the people that we deal with in Washington, they are very tough. And even the leaders of other countries, look, now we're dealing with Iran. So when they used to ask me that question for the first, Meg, I'd say for the first month, I would say, oh, businessmen. After about a month and a half, after getting impeached twice for nothing, I said, politicians are far worse, far worse. Yeah, right. So it's a big difference. I will say this. There's nothing more beautiful than a really good politician who's honorable. There's nothing more beautiful than an honorable prosecutor. You have some of these prosecutors, they're dirty cops, and you have others that are very fair. And I think the world of the prosecutors is a very important world. You have to have fair prosecutors, and some of them aren't fair. I mean, I was a part of it, and I was able to beat a system that was brutal. A lot of people didn't think it was doable, and we did. But having because it's a very important position, the prosecutors are very powerful, and they can destroy people unfairly, and they can also do a good job. But having smart and fair prosecutors is a very important part of the world in which we live. I think that makes sense, but I feel very strongly about that, yeah.
Last question. Well, it's a two-part question. What is the most bizarre thing that you've encountered as president, and what still surprises you about the job even in your second term?
Well, if I told him what was the most bizarre thing, I'd have to probably resign in about 3 minutes as I walked off the stage. You think I'm getting there? I'm not. But the one thing so I won't respond to that question. But you would be very interested. But I just think that it's a great honor to be doing what I'm doing. And, you have everybody watching, everybody looking, everybody second guessing. Some are very fair and very, good, and you learn from them, and you take what they suggest or what they're complaining about in some cases if they're fair, and others, no matter what you do, it's like you can have a baseball team and win 21-0, and they'll say you should have won 25-0, right? Because we've done really a job. We're being credited of having the best first year of a term of any president. I think it is. I mean, when you look at all the regulation cuts, all of the tax cuts, all of the law and order things, I mean, the border as an example, we settled 8 wars, and nobody settled 8 wars. In fact, the woman that won, a very nice woman, Maria, she won the Nobel Peace Prize, and she said, what? Nobody should win that but Donald Trump. She said, Donald Trump should win it more than any other person that won it, and she actually gave me her Nobel Prize. She's a terrific person. But I just say this, it's a great honor to do it. I think it's bigger than I thought. When I was thinking about running early on in 2015, 2014, before I ran, I had no idea it would be this big. I had no idea we could make this kind of an impact. But we've really made an impact. In a little bit more than a year, we've turned this country around. I thought it would take longer than that, but we've turned it around. And again, we're the hottest country. The King of Saudi Arabia said it. I was over there a year ago, and I said to him, we were there after 4 or 5 months, it was obvious what was happening. But he looked at me and he said, President, I must tell you, I thought America was dead. We weren't going to invest. Nobody was going to invest. You had a country that was dead. and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And we do. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and we want to keep it that way. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nailed it. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.